What's up, guys? The new Hearthstone expansion was just announced, and it is the Saviors of Uldum, and it is going to be coming out on August 6th. So I hope you guys are ready for that. There's a cool cinematic trailer. You should definitely watch that. It's very well done. Also, there are some pre-purchase packs. There's the bundle for, $80. Comes with 80 packs, at least Starseeker as a Druid hero, and you also get a random golden legendary. And then there's a 50 pack bundle for $50, which you also get a random golden legendary, but you don't get Elise. Also, if you log in within the first 90 days, you get a random legendary quest card. So that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into looking at the cards already. I'm also going to look at the patch that was implemented on July 1st because it's going to shake up the meta, maybe very little, but it's still something that we should probably go over. First up, we got the new keyword, which is reborn. And this is when they die, they come back to life with 1 health. After that, they die permanently. But for example, we got Restless Mummy here, a 4-mana 3/2 warrior card, which warrior definitely needed single target removal. They're definitely lacking on that, right? So here's some more. It's got rush, does 3 damage, it dies, it comes back as a 3/1. Does 3 damage again. And then after it dies from that point, it's completely dead. This seems like a really good card. I'm interested to see how Reborn gets used in the future. I mean, it's kind of like Harvest Golem, I guess. And Harvest Golem's, he's an okay card. But anyway, back to the Restless Mummy. It's similar to Militia Commander, right? Militia Commander 4 mana. It's a 2/5 that gets +3 attack for the turn that you play it as the battle cry. It usually slaps into something as a single target removal. And since it has such a high health total, maybe it's kind of left on the board as like a 2/1 or a 2/2 or something like that. Whereas the Restless Mummy can do more than 5 damage. So if the target has 6 health, this will still kill it. It's just nothing's gonna be left over, but you can also split it in to do 3 damage to 2 different things. Kind of similar to a multi-shot, or maybe kind of similar to, a couple frost bolts, or maybe a couple flanking strikes. But instead of getting a wolf left over, you just get to hit 2 things for 3. This does seem like a really good card. I don't know if Warrior really needed more removal like this, but it's probably something like a 4-star card. It's hard to give stars without seeing the whole set, but I think a card like this would fit in the current meta, and it's probably like a 4-star card. All right, so we also got plagues. It seems like every class is going to have a plague, and plagues will affect the whole board. So maybe like Brawl is maybe like a plague card. Twisting Nether would probably be considered like a plague card. Maybe even like Warpath, stuff like that. But this example, the new card is an AoE for Priest. 9-mana spell here, Plague of Death, which silences and destroys all minions. Now this is really useful if your opponent has a bunch of death rattles like mechanical whelps and stuff like that, because you're gonna silence them, then you're gonna destroy it. So they don't benefit off of that death rattle. So it's a really nice card. I do think Psychic Scream was a better card. Not only was it 2 mana cheaper, but it essentially did the same thing, which was remove the cards off the board without triggering their death rattles. Now this does seem a bit slow at 9 mana. You got Mass Hysteria. Hope you could live till 9 mana, maybe through some taunts. And then you hit them with a Plague of Death. They get to develop their board, and then maybe you hit your board with like a Mass Resurrection or something like that. But I don't know. I'm just worried it's a bit too slow. If the meta is slower and you're able to actually pull off this card, it's gonna be really, really good. But if the meta is fast and you don't really make it to 9 mana in the first place, it's kind of just a dead card. Like, it often feels like Twisting Nether is kind of a little bit too slow, so this being 1 mana more kind of worries me a little bit. So once again, hard to give a star rating, but I feel like this is like a 3-star card. So we got quests coming back. Seems like every single class is going to get a quest, which is really exciting. I think quests are a lot of fun. A lot of people didn't like quests because it almost seemed like once you completed it, you kind of just won, but these don't seem to have that high of a power level, at least compared to, quests from days past. But we got 2 here. We got the Druid quest, Untapped Potential. You have to end 4 turns with any unspent mana, so this just means floating a mana in general. So Untapped Potential is actually kind of easy to complete, and your reward is this tier where all your choose 1 cards are going to have both effects combined. So your Wrath will do 4 damage. It'll also draw a card. Your Lodi is going to turn into something quite scary Legendary. Your Power of the Wild's gonna be pretty good. Your Mark of the Loa is gonna be pretty good. And in general, it's gonna be interesting to see if you can build a deck around this that makes it worth completing the quest. Because floating mana is generally not that good, especially if you're some sort of aggro sort of deck. So maybe it's gonna be more of a control druid, which we'd have to see more of the druid cards that are revealed, but right now it probably doesn't seem like it'd be a thing. Essentially, the quest costs something like 5 mana over 5 or so turns, because turn 1 you're gonna play it, turn 2 maybe you float a mana, 3 you float a mana, 4 you float a mana, and 5 you float a mana. Then your tier is complete and you can start doing some crazy things. So it does seem a little bit slow, but it's also easy to complete on the same hand. I'm really interested to build decks around this, and I have a feeling there's going to be more choose one druid cards that are revealed, and maybe as we see those cards, we're going to kind of see, you know, possible quest decks come into fruition. All right, so from the choose one cards, the one that seemed most notable to me, Wrath, obviously dealing the 4 damage and drawing a card is pretty good. Power of the Wild, giving +1/+1 plus summoning the Panther is pretty nice, especially if you're obviously running like a token druid sort of deck. Mark of Nature essentially becomes a 3-mana Blessing of Kings that also gives it taunt. Mark of the Loa is really good because you're getting those minions in addition to, you know, giving a botched Blessing of Kings. Tending Tauren, summoning 2 treants and buffing them up is no joke. Ancient of Lore, healing 5 and drawing a card, and then Ancient of War becoming a 7-mana 10/10. Also, like, Cenarius as a late game powerhouse, summoning 2 treants, giving them taunt and giving them the +2. But yeah, if we do start getting more choose one cards, it seems like this might be something to consider. I mean, obviously there's going to be a deck out there. It's just, is it going to be high tier? Is it going to be low tier? Who knows? But I think this card has untapped potential. So I think this gets something around like 4 stars for me, just for the potential. Once again, once we see all the cards, we'll be able to make a real assessment on it. But for right now, I think it's gonna be an archetype, maybe tier 3, who knows. But I'm going to say 4 stars. All right, we also got the Warlock one here, Supreme Archaeology, which is a quest where you draw 20 cards and the reward is the Tome of Origination, which makes it so when you draw a card, it costs 0. Also seems like you're not going to lose 2 health, which is quite nice to stop killing yourself like that as a Warlock, especially when they don't have too much heal. Drawing 20 cards seems like a lot. Every turn you're gonna draw 1, obviously, but other than that you can tap, so every turn you draw 2. So without any card that actually draws you anything, it'll take 10 turns to do this, and you also have done 20 damage to yourself. But thankfully there are cards like Plot Twist, which are definitely going to help here. If you have a huge hand, maybe you're drawing 8, maybe you're drawing 9, maybe you're drawing 10 with Plot Twist, and that's definitely making this seem like an option. So maybe there's going to be a deck with like Elic and some Plot Twists, and other than that, it's just going to be like a big Warlock, maybe around Darkest Hour. You destroy your board. Your board had some scribes. Your scribe died. You play Darkest Hour, pulls out some huge taunts or something, and then in addition to that, you're running Elic. You're running Plot Twist. You're running the Brood Mothers in order to heal. So you're just cycling through, getting this thing done, and then all of a sudden, maybe turn 6, maybe turn 7, you're drawing for 2 mana, but you're drawing a card that costs 0. Pulling like an Amani Warbear for 0 mana is a big deal. So I do like this quest quite a bit. I think it's really exciting. I think it's going to open up some sort of big lock. I don't know if you really want this in a small sort of deck like Zoo is you're probably not going to want this. Also, the image has Rafam on it. Maybe you want to run Rafam in here. Maybe you change your hand and your deck into legendaries. Like that's pretty good, right? So you're going to draw on your turn, you're going to draw a random legendary, and then you're also going to tap and draw a 0 mana legendary. So that could be a lot of fun. That would definitely be a fun deck to mess around with. Is it going to be good? Who knows? I think this has a lot of potential. I'm going to give it 4 stars, but we have to look at the set as it develops and kind of decide where this goes. So you got 4 more cards here. We got the Questing Explorer, a 2-mana 2/3. It's got that solid River Crocolisk's body with the battle cry. If you control a quest, draw a card. Now, if you're running a quest, you're probably running this card. It also kind of helps you with like the Warlock quest, right? Play the Warlock quest on 1, on turn 2, you top deck a card, and you also play Questing Explorer, which is gonna get you, 10% done with your quest. It's also got that great stat line of the 2/3 once again. So this card just seems like, it seems really good. You're obviously not gonna run it if you're not running a quest, but if you are running a quest, this thing feels busted. It's a great follow-up to your turn 1 quest. And I actually feel like this thing's almost like a 5-star card. There's gonna be a good quest deck out there, right? This is in it. So I feel like I'm gonna jump the gun and say this is a 5-star card. We got the Puzzle Box of Yogg-Saron, which is a 10-mana mage spell where you cast 10 random spells and the targets are chosen randomly. Now, Yogg is a ton of fun, and everyone was pretty sad to see him go. He is a Clown Fiesta, very RNG based, and I don't know if you actually want to run this card. Yogg did have a body attached to him, and getting around 10 spells would probably be good enough for you to want to play your Yogg. The drawback here, you don't get that body. But then the benefit here is that you can't accidentally kill your Yogg with like a fireball or something. And stop the process of casting the random spells. So you're usually going to get your 10 random spells cast out here. It's also been confirmed that this cannot recast itself. So this thing will not go infinite, unfortunately, but still a really cool card. It's a Clown Fiesta, man. I don't think you're actually running this in your deck, but choosing it from like Discovers, it's going to be a lot of fun. If you play your Caligos and you get this as an option, you have to choose it. You have to play this thing for 0 mana. If you're playing a Burgle Rogue and you get this as an option, you just have to pick it. It's a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of great clips from this thing, and I'm really excited to see how they play out, but I don't think you actually run it in a competitive deck. So I'm gonna give this thing 2 stars. All right, Evil Totem, another totem here for Shaman. 2 mana 0/2, where at the end of your turn you add a lackey to your hand. I'm kind of on the fence with this thing. If you get 1 lackey and then this dies, it's almost like you might as well have played an Evil Cable Rat, because then you get the 1/1 body and the guaranteed lackey as well. But on the other side of the coin, if you get more than 1 lackey from this thing, like holy crap, like you're doing great. If you get 3 lackeys from this thing, oh my, congratulations, like you're probably gonna win, right? So just the immediate threat of putting this on the board, your opponent has to trade with it. That is definitely an upside to it. And I'd probably rather play this with the Cable Rat just for the potential of high rolling. But like if your opponent plays a Sludge Slurper on 1, you're probably not gonna wanna play this on 2 into their Sludge Slurper, because then they just free trade into it. You're only getting 1 lackey. But this thing can definitely pop off if left unanswered. Also, they're going to introduce new lackeys, right? So maybe the power level of the lackeys remain about the same. This is going to be a pretty decent card, and if the power level goes down, you'll probably be a little less incentivized to actually run Evil Totem in your deck. I think this thing gets like a 2-star. Okay, so we got Jar Dealer, a 1 mana 1/1 neutral with the Death Rattle. Add a random 1 cost minion to your hand. Now, I don't really think you want random 1 cost minions. In Rogue, I guess you can kind of use it as a combo activator, but I feel like you'd rather run a different 1-drop. But I guess there's a little bit of potential. And then also, maybe you want to run this in like some sort of Magic Carpet deck, because you play the carpet, you play this, it rushes off, it dies, and it gives you a little more ammo for your carpet. Just send another dude off, and I guess it could be all right. But honestly, I think it's just 1 mana 1/1. It's a little bit too slow. I think 1 mana 1/1, random 1 cost minion to your hand, 1 star. All right, so that's it for all the new stuff. Pretty exciting. Once again, it's coming on August 6th, so be sure to call in sick on work that day and all that. Let me go over the patch that just hit July 1st. So obviously we know Vanish and Mind Blast are getting Hall of Famed. We're getting new cards Plaguebringer and Radiance. They both don't seem that great. We're also getting Siegebreaker in here. I definitely want to try some sort of Demon Zoolock. I think that'd be a lot of fun. We're getting Gift of the Wild, which is just worse than Blessing of Ancients, but it could be a lot of fun. Pretty cool card. Does give him that taunt, which might be nice, but you're still gonna get creamed by warriors. We got Righteousness, which seems pretty bad, but I'm a little bit excited to try it out with some sort of token paladin. It's just like a bad maul, right? A bad Sacred Maul, I think it was, but whatever. It might be fun. And then we got Brightwing and High Inquisitor Whitemane. I do want to try these guys out. I've already been messing with these in some sort of like dragon paladin, and they're not great, but they're pretty fun. And I think Whitemane has a bit more potential than Brightwing does, just because the randomness of Brightwing is so weird. We got Stable Hand, which is kind of trash. The Infiltrator, not a big fan of this. I just don't think there's enough secrets in the meta right now. And the Arcane Devourer, which I think you're only going to be seeing this thing from Astromancers. I think that's about it. Okay, biggest deal here is the change to card arts. It seems like we got rid of a lot of the risque stuff. We got rid of some of the blood. Deadly Shot looks less like you're shooting somebody. Head Crack, there's a little bit less skeleton stuff going on. Succubus, now called Fellstalker, and the art completely switched. The card is just totally different. Pretty cool art though. Mistress of Pain is now Queen of Pain. Again, pretty cool art. So yeah, there's that. They changed Pilfer text just to kind of match other cards a little bit better. And then what I think is actually a big buff, which maybe not a lot of people are paying mind to, but multi-target cards can now target one thing. Like in the past, you could not play multi-shot if your opponent only had one minion. You cannot play Fork Lightning if they only had one minion. And the fact that this has kind of opened up, it makes it a little bit better. Like I don't know if you really want to run multi-shot. Like, does this really incentivize that? Maybe not. Are you actually going to run Fork Lightning? I don't know. But it's a pretty big deal. So definitely, you know, keep that in mind. Tavern is also only going to be down for 1 hour a week. I don't know why it was down more than that. So, I mean, this totally makes sense to me. I'm not really one to play Tavern Brawls, but I know a lot of people enjoy them. So this is a cool change. Also, there are a lot of changes to the Dalaran Heist. If you've been enjoying the Dalaran Heist, I'm sure it's probably going to be even better now. Maybe it freshens it up a little bit for you. I personally haven't played much of it. So, yeah, I don't really know what any of these mean, and I'm not gonna really bother reading through them, but be sure to check them out. I'm gonna link these blog posts in the description, so, you know, just read into them. Also, another thing, we got the arena rotation, which is going to happen, and as Uldum gets released, it's gonna change the cards you can get to the Basic, Classic, League of Explorers, Journey to Ungoro, Kobolds, and Rastakhan's, as well as Uldum. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I personally took part in Twitch Rivals, where it was really my first time playing Arena, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. So I'm actually excited for this little Arena switch up. Also keep in mind there will be pre-release events from August 2nd to 5th. You want to open your packs early. You know, it's a great way to do that and meet with other people who play Hearthstone. Kind of just make your own little decks and just have a good time. But that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you're excited for Saviors of Uldum. I definitely am. There's a lot of hype behind this one. It seems like they're moving in a great direction. So don't forget to follow me on Twitch if you aren't yet. Good luck on ladder and stay hydrated.